Hello again and welcome back to the card mat. Right, just try and adjust that down a little bit so it doesn't glare at you too much. That should do. I just need a little bit of light. Card sharps, yeah, very hard to do what they do. Honestly, it is very hard to do what they do. Tracking cards through a packet, knowing where they are in the packet. I'll try and demonstrate what I mean by that, but I won't use the entire packet. We'll just use a small chunk of cards, and that's about small enough. Right, they've got no idea, as I say, what cards are in the packet or what cards are getting dealt. Say we have 3 hands of poker. The card sharp will be able to see what cards are in his hand, what order they are in his hand. If somebody folds, he's not getting to see their cards. The winning hand, he'll have to see that. So say he's seen 2 hands. He's then got to remember what cards were in them hands, what order they were in them hands, and where they get moved to as the cards get picked up and get shuffled. That's why I need my light on, by the dealer. So he's trying to track, say, 2 hands there. You got to see 2 hands, so he's just tracked 10 cards, say. Then another, to complicate it yet, the cards get dealt again. Somebody else has come and joined the crew. So we got 4 people playing now. So he's got a chance of seeing even more cards. Right? So he's got a fresh lot of cards. There might be 1 or 2 from the first hand because the cards have been shuffled. And he gets to see 1 or 2 of the other hands. And again, he has to remember what order they were in, what happens to them again once they get picked up. Whether they get cut and shuffled. So he's trying to remember where they've gone to in this packet now. Because he's got to try and remember, if the game goes on long enough, every card in the packet. Yeah. Say another hand gets dealt. 5. Another person comes. Makes it even harder for him. Because there's 5 hands to remember now. From what he gets to see out of them. Yeah. So he's now tracking all the cards that he has seen from the first 2 hands and that hand, basically, yeah. Now, to try and show you what it's actually like, we'll pick on a card. We'll pick a random card. So whatever this card is on the top, yeah, I might have put it there. We'll take whatever value it is and we'll count down to whatever card we get at that value, and that'll be the chosen card. Right, we've got a jack. A jack is equal to 11. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 and 11. The 11th card. Please remember it. I'll turn away so I don't see it. You're seeing the 11th card. Yeah? We'll put it down. We'll put it back together. So now you've seen a card in this packet. I'm going to now try and track that card as we deal, say, another 2 hands. So 2 hands of poker will get dealt. And I'm trying to keep my eye on wherever that 1 card got put as the cards get picked up yet again. And just for the sake of it, we'll give them a cut. Right? Now, your card, what was it? You're saying, I don't know because I didn't see it. Tell you what, I did put a fail safe, yeah, safe fail as well, a fail safe into this. I actually put a card in the middle of this packet to help me remember what card you would end up looking at. Now, if I spread it out, we will see that right in the middle of this packet we've got the Ace of Hearts, right? Which then leads me to think that the card you actually seen was the soulmate to the Ace of Hearts, which would be the Ace of Diamonds. Yeah, and as I said, I did track it, and as a good card sharp would do, I actually put it to the position I would need it, which would be right on the top, or wherever I wanted to do it. I put it on the top just to make it easy for show. Right, but not only that, no siree bob, not only that. If I remove the 2 aces, and we take a look at the next 2 cards down, we'll find that they're a match as well. Now if we take a look at the next two cards down, you'll see that they're a match, and the next two cards are 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 a match, and the next two, and the next two, and the next two, and the next two. And I've run out of cards. But that's basically how a card sharp works. Seeing what cards they've got, organising them, and winning the game. Your money, you've lost. Right, well I hope you enjoyed that performance. Just knocked me light into the camera shot there. A little bit of history on that one. Believe it or not, this was created, well the idea behind it came from a guy called Charles S. Pierce, and he published this in about 1860. 1860, yes. A fellow called Herbert Milton got the idea and twisted it around, came up with an effect called sympathetic clubs. And then around 1957, Alex Elmsley, probably one of the greatest minds in card magic, came up with another way of handling it to make it easier. And this is that way. First off, take out ace through to king in different suits, so it looks pretty random. Then take out ace to king again of the soulmates. Okay. Take one of them, and now here's where you have to do a little bit of a setup, and it's not too hard to remember. Ace followed by the 7, followed by the 9 and the 10, then the 8. Right, so all you've done is move the 8 to the end of the 10. You then got the jack, then you got the 2. So if you can remember that, everything else is dead easy. So you get the ace, then you have the 7 through to jack, but with the 8 in between the 10 and the jack. Then you go back to the 2, then you just take out the centre card of what you've got left, or one of the centre cards, namely the 5, and you put that down, and then you put these down in order: 3, 4, 6, queen and king. Right, set it up in that order. Turn the ace facing up and cut it somewhere into the packet that you have. Now set these cards up in the exact same order: ace, 7, 9, 10, 8, jack, 2, 5, 3, 4, 6, queen, king. Set them up the same order, and these are the cards you're going to be using, so you plump these on the top. I put a crimp in the king just to make it easier for me to pick it up off the pile. You don't have to pick it up, you can thumb them out, so you count out your 12 cards and just 13 cards, sorry, and take them away. So you start off breaking the cards at your king, putting the rest of the packet to one side and making sure that you don't split it or anything, or it gets knocked and that face up ace gets seen. So you put the packet to one side. You're now gonna, if you want to use that type of spiel that I used about card sharps, why not? I think that's the way Alex Elmsley would have wanted it, because pretty much what he said. Yeah, ask your spectator how many hands are getting dealt. It is their choice. Obviously they're not going to say 1, because you can't play poker against yourself. Well, you can, but you can't play it with just the one hand. I've played poker against myself and I lost my shirt. I don't advise it. No. They give you a number. Right, now there's 3 different handlings to this, and they're pretty simple. They are, believe me, they're pretty simple. Oh, and by the way, you don't have to faro. You don't. No. You can do that to make it look better, but you don't have to. No. And you don't have to do 2 faros. You can just do the 1 faro. Right? So say they say 3 cards, 3 hands. Now, 2, 2, 3, 4 and 6, right, get picked up the same way. 2 hands, 3 hands, 4 hands and 6 hands, they all get picked up the same way. 7 hands gets picked up a different way, and 5 hands gets picked up a different way, right? So we'll start off with the 7 hands. Nobody's ever going to say it, basically. If they pick 8 or above, you can't have them. 7 is the maximum, right? So you deal 7 hands. That puts 2 cards on every card, except every pile except for the last pile. It only has 1, right? Remember, it's only got 1. You want to pick up all the symmetrical packs first, right? But you start at this end. So you're picking up the 6, onto the 5, onto the 4, onto the 3, onto the 2, onto the 1, and onto the 7. You'll pick it up. You will find every time you pick them up, the king is on the top. You want the king on the bottom. Get it down there however you want to. Whether you want to thumb break it and double cut it to the bottom, or just make it look like you're cutting the pack. So tilt your hand down, slide the top card off and bang the others on the top. Get it down to the bottom, jobs are good. You want a faro? Faro. If you don't want a faro, don't faro. Ask them for another number. We've just done 7. 5's another different. No, we'll go for 2, 3, 4 and 6. They say 4. You deal 4 hands. And as I say, this one works for 2 piles, 3 piles, 4 piles and 6 piles. You start from where you dealt. First pile you dealt to goes on to the second pile. Like so. Again, you cut your king to the bottom. Ask them for another number. The 5. This is a good one, this. And it's very easy to remember. Multiple pack pick up. But it's very easy to remember. All you're going to do is pick up packs 3 and 4 together. Move your hands down so they both go over a packet. So 4's over 2, 3's over 1. You put them down. You pick them up. Then you just move your hands this way. The first packet that gets there, the one with 2 and 4 in, gets dropped on the top. And then the 1 and the 3 packet gets dropped on the top of that. At this point, glimpse the bottom card. If it is 7 or below, well, 7 down to 2, you're okay. If it's the 8 and above, it won't work. If it's the ace, it won't work. Ask them for another number and deal again. Till you end up with a card down there, which is either a 2, a 3, a 4, a 5, a 6 or a 7, right? Remember what that card is, the value of it. You know it's a 4. You'll cut the king to the bottom as you do. If you are doing faros, don't faro now. You'll mess it up. So you know what that card was on the bottom. It was a 4, wasn't it? Yeah. You say you want them to choose a card and you do it random. You'll take a look at the top card and you'll count down to the value of that top card. It's a 9. If they pick the jack, the queen or the king, it's 11, 12 or 13. Right? So they're counting down to 9. Put that on the top and count it as the first card. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Whatever card is on the top will always count you down to that card. The ace of diamonds, or the ace of hearts, or the ace of spades, or the ace of clubs, depending on what ace you're using. It will always take you to the ace. Put it on the top. You say you'll do one more, you'll do 4 hands. Whatever value that is, that's how many hands you deal. And then once you finish, I'll show you. You deal the 4 hands. Obviously picking them up by whatever method is meant for however many piles. If it's 5, you're doing your one of them. If it's 7, you're picking them up and putting it on. This is a 4, so I'm picking up the way I dealt. Again, cut your king to the bottom. Now, this is going to put this packet back into the order it started in, with the ace on the top, followed by the 7, followed by the 9, followed by the 10, followed by the 8, followed by the jack, followed by the 2, followed by the 5, followed by the 3, the 4, the 6, the queen and the king. Exactly same as that. So you go into whatever spiel you want to do, and then you produce the ace on the top, and you spread the packet, and there's the ace in the middle. Pull off everything above it, everything below it goes on top of everything above it. That then puts these two piles in matching order all the way down through to your kings, 3s, 4s, 6s, queens and the kings. And there you go. Very nice effect. I do hope you enjoyed that. Thank you very much for watching. I really appreciate it. And I'll see you again soon.